Hello everybody, it's Hater. Welcome back to another Destiny 2 build video. And no, your eyes do not deceive you. We're going to be using Warmind cells in today's video with the grenade launcher explosive personality and its ability to synergize with the mod Wrath of Rasputin. So if you guys are into that kind of thing and want to turn your Warmind cells into mini nukes, then support the channel by giving the video a like, subscribing so you'll be up to date whenever a new build video goes out. I'm also live over at my Twitch every single day playing more than just Destiny, and there will be a dim loadout link down in the description for the build we're using in today's video. Starting things off, guys, let's talk about the explosive personality. This is going to be the solar waveframe grenade launcher you can earn from the PsyOps battlegrounds. But it doesn't just stop there, because this is also a craftable weapon if you get 3 of them that are attuned. And let me tell you guys about the countless amounts of nights that I didn't get sleep trying to get 3 of these that are red bordered. Seriously, Bungie, give PsyOps the same treatment you gave to the Wellspring. But something I want you guys to pay attention to is that it is solar energy. This is the only solar waveframe grenade launcher we have in the game right now outside of the Dead Messenger since the Martyr's Retribution from Season of the Dawn. And you're probably thinking, why is that important? Why don't I just use the Forbearance from the Vow of the Disciple raid with Chain Reaction? What can the explosive personality do that Forbearance can't? And to answer that question, it is to use the mod Wrath of Rasputin. What it does is that whenever we get solar splash damage kills, it has a stacking chance to create a Warmind cell. Because explosive personality is a solar waveframe, it is going to deal that solar splash damage we need to create Warmind cells. And then from there, we can just build around it to make the Warmind cells as lethal as possible. Looking at what explosive personality can roll, there are some very good perk combinations that you could pair with this weapon. In the left column, we have reload enhancing perks like Threat Detector to increase your reload, stability and handling when enemies are nearby, Field Prep to get more reserves and faster reload, stow and ready speed while crouching, Feeding Frenzy for more reload speed every time you get kills with this weapon, the new Stats for All, so hitting 3 separate targets will increase your handling, stability, reload, and range for a moderate duration, and then auto-loading holster to reload this weapon automatically when it's stowed. Then in the right column, we have perks that you can pair with those to increase the damage or effectiveness of the weapon. These are perks like Disruption Break, so that you deal 50% more kinetic damage to an enemy after breaking their shield, Unrelenting, so defeating enemies will give you health, Frenzy, so you deal 15% more damage, have increased handling and reload speed when you're in combat for more than 12 seconds, Golden Tricorn, so that you deal 15% more damage when you get kills with this weapon, and then while you have 1 stack of Golden Tricorn, getting kills with your abilities will increase the damage to 50%. And then of course there is One for All, so that you deal 35% more damage after hitting 3 separate targets. All of these together are going to be creating some lethal combinations. Some of the combinations that come to mind first are perks like Stats for All with One for All, Auto-Loading Holster with Disruption Break, or Stats for All with Golden Tricorn. So with this weapon being able to be crafted also, you guys can just mix and match and find whatever perfect god roll works for you. Now that we've gone over what explosive personality can roll and why we are using it in this build, let's talk about the build itself and how we're gonna further enhance Wrath of Rasputin. And the first thing we're gonna be pairing with this is the mod Burning Cells. Destroying a Warmind cell creates a burst of solar energy that causes enemies to burn for several seconds. This is going to be one of the key mods of the build and one of the reasons why we're able to chain Warmind cells back to back to back, because now that the Warmind cell's damage is changed to solar and is also burning enemies, it is going to proc Wrath of Rasputin on top of itself every time we get kills with the explosion. To then pair with this to make it even better, we're going to use the mod Global Reach. This is going to increase Warmind Cell's effective range by 10 meters, allowing us to hit enemies and burn enemies from a further range. Pretty self-explanatory. These 3 mods together are going to be our bread and butter for the build. Anything else that we add to this build now is just going to add on top of it. And what I personally enjoy running with these 3 mods is the exotic helmet Dawn Chorus. This is going to allow our Warmind Cells to be even more broken. Its exotic perk, Rites of Ember, states your Daybreak projectiles cause targets to burn on contact and deal more damage to them. All of your burn effects last longer, and you gain a small amount of melee energy each time one of your burns damages a target. The key focus of this exotic helmet is that all of our burn effects are going to last longer. This is going to synergize with burning cells and make the burn it creates last even longer, to then cause enemies to explode and re-proc Wrath of Rasputin. At the same time, it also adds damage to our Daybreak projectiles, increasing the damage and making it a damage super for single target. Speaking of Dawnblade, something that is synergizing with these Warmind Cells that I don't think was supposed to happen is that when enemies are affected by the burn, it is also proccing Igniting Touch from Bottom Tree Dawnblade's subclass. Meaning that whenever enemies are burning, aka from burning cells, when they die, they just explode. If you guys are familiar from way back when Necrotic Grips and Fellwinter's Helms were bugged, the damage that Igniting Touch deals was considered melee damage no matter what the burn was. In this case, it is for some reason the Warmind Cell. So every time we break a Warmind Cell and then apply a burn from burning cells, the enemies are going to proc Igniting Touch and then explode. Now that we've gone over the key mods for the build and our exotic that will be pairing with it, let's move over to my Warlock and look through all of the gear and show you guys what the build should look like. Starting things off, you guys are going to need at least 2 pieces of your armor solar. In this case, I have 4 of them solar for my mods, but you don't have to have it like that. Starting off at the Dawn Chorus, I have mine as solar, and I'm using burning cells at the end of it with 2 Psionic Forging 2 mods from the artifact. What these do is they're going to increase the overall duration of the Land Take origin trait that Explosive Personality has. For each stack of Land Tank that we have, it's going to increase our resilience by 10 up to 30 at max stacks, and 5% damage resistance, 15% at max stacks. You could also change this out for a grenade launcher ammo finder or even orbs of power. This is just what I prefer running with it because it adds an extra layer of defense. Moving on over to the arms, I also have these as solar, and I'm using the mod Explosive Well Maker as one of my extra mods. This is going to create a solar elemental well after rapidly defeating enemies with explosive damage of any kind. This is going to be another resource that I have to pair with another mod when we get to it, but next to it I'm using a grenade launcher loader that I could swap out for champion mods or even an impact induction. Next, moving on over to my chest piece, I have this as void, and I'm using my global reach at the end of it with 2 thermoshock platings and a void resist so that I take reduced damage from solar, arc, and void all at the same time. Next up, moving over to my boots, these are going to be solar, and I'm using Well of Life at the end of it so that whenever I pick up the solar elemental well from Explosive Well Maker, it's going to give me 10 seconds of constant healing. This is also an extra line of defense I could pair with the build, but as I said before guys, you could pair literally anything that synergizes with the trio of mods I mentioned earlier. Next to it though, I'm going to be using a rocket launcher scavenger from the artifact, a grenade launcher scavenger, and recuperation so that if any of my teammates create orbs of power, I can gain health back for each orb that I pick up. Finally though, moving over to my class item, I have this as solar also. This is where my Wrath of Rasputin is going to be. Then I'm pairing this with 2 bomber mods so that I reduce my grenade cooldown by 40% every time I use my class ability. Thus completing my build, and that is going to be it for today's video. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the build, if it's going to be better than Forbearance or not. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm going to catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.